I try to do this in my division, but sometimes it's hard. I know it's hard for you as well, but really having a robust quality program in your facilities, and these are things that we're asking about, new things that we're looking at as it relates to some new survey processes. So QAPI, that is proactive. So use your data. So, look at it's so data driven, look at your policies and procedures, go back to what your facility assessment plan is, and even if you need to update your facility assessment, because no one size fits all. So look at your facility assessment, look at your policies and procedures. Don't wait for us to come in to do your survey and say, oh, well, thank you for finding these things for us. A survey, we always say, is a moment in time. And we do a sample. We do a sample. We don't look at 100% of the residents in your facility. I know we don't go into every single room, although we try. There are probably some places that we don't get, if we're in there for 3 or 4 days to do your recertification survey. So you really don't wait on us and say, oh, yeah, this is my QA process right here, having a survey team. It is you. Be proactive. That's why it kind of goes hand in hand with the survey readiness. Know your facility, know your residents out there, because we're coming in and asking you these questions. So you need to know what's going on, and having a good, robust quality program, I think will really help a lot of our facilities cut down on the number of complaints, because you'll know what's going on in your facilities. Cut down on seeing us a lot. We're trying to catch up. We're having to do all these complaints. Sometimes we're having to push back our research because we get so many complaints on facilities. So now we're to the top 10. Everybody loves talking about the top 10, right? Everybody wants to know what's going on. You ready to take a picture? Somebody in the front right here keeps taking a picture of my slides. Are you just taking a picture of me? I know everybody does that. So these are the top 10 just for 2022. So this is a snapshot of 2022. Storage of drugs and biologicals. Look, we keep citing that. I don't know what we can do about that. We need to put Kim Broom on this as a nurse. Why we keep citing this? Why we keep citing this? And I know a lot of it is kind of low-hanging fruit, right? We come in, we do your survey. Our nurses come out and do your storage of drugs and biologicals. We see expired pills. We see things laying in the med cart. We don't do this when we first come on site to do your research, and we only do this during research, do your med storage. So it's a freebie. We're going to do it. So as soon as the survey team, as soon as you see us pulling in the parking lot, get your DOE and run around and check all the med carts. Check all the med carts, check all the refrigerators. Make sure you don't have any drugs out there, not labeled or stored correctly. We do see a lot of that. We keep an eye on that tag. It does go down a little bit for us. 689, got freedom of action hazard supervision devices. This is where we cite the supervision, which typically we're going to cite unsafe smoking or elopements. And as you know, we still see a high number of elopements. We don't cite elopements every time, and we don't cite it at the IJ level either every time. Now in 2022, we did see an increase in our restorative and trade care and suctioning. So we did see an increase in that as well we saw it, I think probably 2021 into 2022, really seeing an increase in this. Quality of care. So quality of care is that overarching whole requirements of providing those care and services to meet those residents' needs in the nursing home. So that's kind of come up a lot for us. Our food procurement, store prepare. How many of you remember the days when food procurement, store prepare, and infection control, they always battled for 1 and 2, right? They always battled for 1 and 2. So as you'll see here, that food procurement, store prepare, under sanitary conditions is down here in our number 5 spot. You also see safe, clean, comfortable home life. We do see a lot of that because we're out and about when we do our research. And we see a lot of this on complaints too. So this is for not just our research surveys, but also any survey activity we do in our healthcare in the nursing homes. Develop, implement comprehensive plans of care. I think that's been in like our top 10 for 20-something years. ADL care provided to dependent residents, we're still seeing that. Infection prevention and control. So we have seen that come down. I know it was like really number one or number two for years and years. In 2020, as you know, as we went through the public health emergency and COVID, that was number one for so long. And then so now it's really dropped down. So it's dropped down here to number 9 for us. And rounding it out is resident records. So making sure that you have your records organized, systematically organized. So that's 2022. So let's look at 2023. So you do see some shifts here in our top 10. So this is from January to June of this year. January to June of this year. So you do see our quality of care has jumped up there. So we're seeing a lot of those areas of noncompliance in that regulatory grouping of quality of care. We do see that accidents and hazards, that's still highly cited. Again, as you know, as we're citing things like falls, unsafe smoking, elopements, and this is where we're going to cite those tags. That food procurement, that's popped up there, that keeps rising up a little bit on us. Develop and implement the comprehensive plans of care, that's come up in our top 10. See their label of storage of drugs and biologicals, that's gone down from number 1 to number 5. In the first 6 months of this year. Respiratory's gone down a little bit, so I'm happy to see that. There's some tags that I really, every time I look at the top 10 or I talk to the team about the top 10, I go, ooh, that's in our top 10. But I'm really glad to see that this has dropped down some as far as our top 10. Safe, clean, comfortable home life, that's probably been in our top 10 forever, but it has dropped a little bit. Infection prevention and control, that's at number 8, it was number 9 last year in 2022. We have seen that come up a little bit just in the first 6 months of this year. Pharmacy services, procedures, and pharmacy records. So number 9 and number 10 are new to our top 10 from 2022 to the first 6 months here of 2023. So this is having an agreement with a pharmacy to provide routine and emergency services. There are also some multi-pronged tag, so there are other kind of requirements in there, having a policy procedure, having that agreement with the pharmacy. So if you have changed pharmacy companies, go back and look at the pharmacy regulations. Have meetings with your consultant pharmacist to make sure that you are meeting these requirements, because we have seen this pop into our top 10. Also, kind of tied here at number 10, our quality improvement activities under QAPI and QA&A, and also resident records. We'll never get away from that, right? Because those are kind of, as we say, paper tags, as you say too. What is the surveyors looking at that for? But these are our top 10. So again, 2022, and then just for calendar year January to June of 2023, these are our top most cited tags that you see. And I really hope when we talk about these that you take this back to your teams and your facilities. I know a lot of you look at this, what's citing in your facilities, and that's great, but look what's cited statewide too. So this way, use a lot of this that we talk about for your QAPI plans. Take some of this back and say, let's look, at our regulatory grouping of quality of care, in that area. What's the state seeing statewide? Looking at things in your facility, even if you haven't been cited for any of these tags, really use this information. Don't just sit here and say, oh yeah, well, I haven't been cited for that, doesn't mean anything to me. It does mean something to you, because we all are out there trying to improve the quality in our nursing homes, and this is the way we can do it, is look at things that has been cited around the state, and making sure you have things in place that you're in compliance with these requirements. Next thing I want to talk about